Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So, the American attack on the Iranian nuclear program was unsuccessful, according to the Pentagon's initial assessments, or first assessments. Remember, Donald Trump came out and he said that we obliterated them. Well, I don't think it was about obliteration, but I think it was about an example. They set an example and they pushed the limits further. That is, I reserve the right to strike in whatever country I want, sovereign and independent. Next one could be, I don't know, I'm going to strike Tehran if I want. So this is very dangerous. Nevertheless, the point of this video is both sides declare victory. And that's good. Keep the imbeciles at bay. Have them happy. They both won. Therefore, they will not continue. That's a good thing. So they both claim they won. Well, at least I think we won. But this is it's a short-lived victory. They will get at it soon. Why? Because the US mass media already portrayed Trump's weakness and Israel's strength, and we need to do more. The Russians came out clear in being against the American strikes and Israeli strikes on Iran. Clearly denounced it, saying that they are not based on facts, and they also, the Russians, claim and accuse the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Association, whatever it is, agency, of lying by using certain words in which they made it appear ambiguous. That's what I think, ambiguous terminology in order to create a false premises. The Iranians have the capability of building a nuclear weapon in no time. So these are the main topics for this video. Let me see what else I have here. Yeah, Donald Trump very, very upset with the media, that the media dared to minimize his obliteration of Iranian sites. So let's go over one by one, and around these main subjects there are some little subjects. All right, let's start with the first one. And here it is. Netanyahu declares historic win, says Israel removes Iran's nuclear threat in 12-day war. I personally don't think that is true. First, I personally think that Iran was not close to being able to build a nuclear weapon, based on my information I get from open sources. And it's only it's only Israel and some Americans who claim that. I haven't heard the guys from Bangladesh what they think about it, or the guys from Honduras, or I don't know, Romania or Zimbabwe. We have only the same garbage as we had in Iraq. Lies, exaggerations, and then, well, you know what? While we are at it, how about we do this one? Well, first, you shouldn't have been at it in the first place. You don't shoot and then you ask questions, but I guess it works. The problem is it works supposedly only for some. Others cannot use the same thing, shoot and then ask questions. Remember that people don't talk anymore. So Netanyahu declares victory. Good for you, be happy about it, but I guarantee you, he knows. So yeah, he can play tough, but he knows. You know how I know he knows? He's gonna be at it pretty soon. Which is, well, Iran is doing this, Iran is doing that. They're not happy with the outcome. What happened, I think, is the Russians stepped in decisively and said, you know what, that's it, we have to take a side here. We're done. Iran took a side when we need them, now we have to take a side and put our mouth where our money is. All right, so that's the first one. Related to Netanyahu's statement, we have these guys. Russia Today, both Israel and Iran claim a victory after US brokered ceasefire. Okay, well, that's good. As I said, keep the baboons delusional so they don't get at it. I don't think at all that this ceasefire will last. I give them, I don't know, maybe not even a week before we have the Israelis coming and saying, we have an intel that Iran, with the help of Zubi Kupi, did this. I guarantee you they're going to be at it again and again. The main goal in the Middle East for these guys, you know who I'm talking about, is Iran, kind of like Iraq, kind of like Syria, emasculated. That's what they wanted. Weak, controllable, and something over there like a baboon-stan. No, whatever the fuck is going on over there. And let us do our digging of your gold or diamonds. So good. You both won. Now go to your whatever you were doing before, counting your fingers, and stay there. Next, the Russians they are doing something they haven't done before, as far as I remember. And that is blaming Israel. Israel was very nice, click, with Russia having Zelensky Stein in Ukraine. That is, they were not 100% supporting their brother Zelensky in charge of some kind of nation. And now the Russians come back and say this. Western states lied about Iran's nuclear program. Now, one thing is a lie here. They say Western states, and it says Israel and US falsely accused Tehran of planning to build a nuclear bomb. United Nations envoy Vasily Nebenzia has said, first, Israel is not a Western country. Israel is a Middle Eastern country, and their people live among us in the Western world. That's what it is. Do you think they're Westerners? Some of them live among us. Their culture is not Westerner. What is their culture? Havana Gila? What is it? Uzi? Give me more. Maybe I'm just an ignorant, but you tell me. The art? Anyway, the walls built by the Romans that these guys are crying about, telling it the temple. They didn't build shit. Anyway, let's go back. You don't believe me? Just dare to do a little clicks. If you don't read books, just do a little clicks. The information is still available. It's still available. The Wailing Wall that they built, David and Solomon, and first, Jerusalem was not built by them. Jerusalem was conquered with the help of God. You remember? They assaulted Jerusalem. Jerusalem lived before. It was not called Jerusalem, by the way. So when they say the Jewish eternal city, I wrote 2 books when I planned it. There are 2 books. Go and check my books about God's nature. They're on Amazon available. And over there you're going to find out Jerusalem is not the eternal city. That's how we call him. You know why? Israeli eternal city. Eternal means with no beginning and no end. In the Bible, in the Old Testament, the Israelites come in front of what's going to be after that named Jerusalem. You know, it's not called Jerusalem. They come over there and they, by the order from the general, imaginary general, they go and destroy, and then they destroy. They attack it and take over. It was already had walls and everything else, but nevertheless. And then the Romans built that, wanted the imbecile presidents go over there and... Alright, so anyway, this is a new one for me. These guys accuse Israel, and it's falsely accusing. Falsely, that is lying, falsely accusing. But they're just diplomatic. Next. United Nations official gave Israel cover, and Iran paid the price. Again, from Russia Today. The IAEA chief's ambiguous language helped justify illegal military action. You got that? So Israel's military actions against Iran have significantly destabilized the Middle East, driven by concerns over Iran's nuclear capabilities. These events, rooted in historical tensions, are irreversible and have reshaped regional dynamics. A key document that served as a pretext for Israel's aggression was a resolution adopted by the Board of Governors, BOG, of the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA. This resolution was based on a report by IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi, a baboon. He came to Ukraine into the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant many times, and he made a fool of himself over there, who later attempted to moderate its implications in an interview with Christine Anapur, a baboon, a jackal. Oh my God. Watch her interviewing. She is like she's a goddess or something. He's an imbecile. Shortly after the onset of hostilities, since assuming his role, Grossi has been tasked with implementing the IAEA statute to ensure nuclear non-proliferation. However, his reports have often been ambiguous, raising doubts about Iran's nuclear program that could be interpreted in multiple ways. Critics argue that the reports, if deliberately misleading, may be contributed to the escalation of tensions leading to war, raising questions about Grossi's accountability, including the possibility that he may be dismissed or stand trial. I hope stand trials. The IAEA status allows the Board of Governors to appoint or determine the Director General, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they are claiming that Mr. Grossi did not dare to screw up his career by probably telling the truth. Therefore, he had to be all right, exclusive right here, the American intel that could be trusted, like in Iraq, tells us that early US intel assessments suggest strikes on Iran did not destroy nuclear sites. So what does that mean? We are going to be at it again, and we didn't win. Well, as I said, it was not about destroying it now. It was about giving ourselves the right to strike. That was it. It's like you, again, my analogy with a rapist, because it's a clear-cut example. Nobody can say, well, no, it's clear. A guy who just before he gets to little by little comes closer and comes closer, and he is grooming the victim, and eventually he touches her. Well, that's already he is violating the situation, and like the Americans touched Iran, boom. Next is going to be more than that, touching Iran in the, I think they're already touching Iran in a certain ways. They already struck the nuclear facilities, or some of them, unsuccessfully, and I'm going to show you why, according to these guys, to the Americans, not to why they were unsuccessful, possibly. And again, he's at it. The next one is going to be penetration, I don't know, 1 time, then 3 times, 5 times, 1,000, and then pump and dump, and then that's it, ravaged. So let's see what these guys are talking about. What do you mean they were ineffective? In a first, America dropped 30,000 pound bunker busters, but Iran's concrete may be unbreakable, scientists say. You got it? So, might be nothing. Nothing. Why? Because these guys have concrete and they're underground so deep that the guys cannot penetrate. But again, it's not about, taking the clothes off yet. You're doing over the clothes, which is still, whatever you want to call it. And I made a video 2 days ago. I didn't publish it. This is a video. I will publish it today. It was made 2 days ago, and I got caught in other things, and I really forgot to publish it. Now let me show you. It's right down here. I mean, I can change the day whenever I want. It doesn't really prove anything. But it's on the 23rd. Why? It doesn't prove anything because I will see if I do like, oh, it's already done. No, I thought, no license right here. I can pick whatever date I want, but this is where it was done, on the 23rd. Nevertheless, I claimed here exactly the same thing, and I will publish it after this. It's going to be available after I publish this video. That damaged or not damaged. And I showed pictures here and so on, and I've talked about the Iranian dormant sleeper cells here in America, and not only. And I said that the Americans will strike again. They will not be happy with what they did for the exact reason, and the media will be like dogs in heat after Trump to do it again. Do it seriously. Why? The goal is not that. It's not a little bit of buttoning nipples. It's not that. It's to really going and finalizing the, you know what I mean. So the same here. That's not the goal. If you know the goal, you're going to understand how the media will try to put pressure on our presidents to do the dirty job or work of other imbeciles who at All right, they demand to have something that was promised only to them. So, and here is Trump angry. What's new? Because they hit his ego, and they can control this guy by damaging his ego. Like, oh no, it was not the best. Because remember, Trump comes and says, this is the best, what we had, the best crowds, the best this, the most fantastic. Well, once you understand his megalomaniac in that kind of context, you understand it's very easy to say, well, just say, you don't have to say, it's not true, it was like shitty. You just have to minimize it a little bit. Say, well, yeah, but just show that you're not convinced. And Trump will be like, no, you were saying it was not the most fantastic, extraordinary, perfect thing you've ever imagined. You say, and you don't have to say no. Yeah. That little doubt for him is like a stab in his big, loving heart. So that's exactly what you do with it. It's just psychology, that's all. So you just have to touch him a little bit here and there, and he's gonna be having an outburst. Trump hit by devastating intel leak of Iran bombing flop. So devastating intel, and Trump is hit. Devastating intel. So these guys now, Daily Beast, I think it's an American garbage, but nevertheless, they are covering for the other ones. He's going to be pushed to do it again because they're going to damage his ego. U.S. strikes on 3 key targets in Iran over the weekend did not destroy key components of the country's nuclear program, according to an early Pentagon intelligence assessment. Now, maybe Trump did it willingly. Hey, we're going to do this, you're going to do this. But that shows why. Why do you need to do it that way? Are you afraid of the boss in the Middle East? Are you afraid of your guys? Are they really in charge? If they're not, why do you pretend? So I don't think it was pretending. If you pretend, that means you're afraid of something else. Who are you afraid of? Homie? Us? So if it was like, guys, hit it, but don't destroy it, why would you do that? Because why, the Russians will do something? I don't think so. As I said, touching the nipples over the shirt is already, you know what I mean? So you are already crossed the line. It doesn't mean if you go over there and the same. Anyway, you penetrate 1,000 times, but you don't. So that's the first one. And the second one, this comes from Russia Today. Trump slams CNN and New York Times. These are not media, these are operatives, for demeaning strikes on Iran. The outlets reported that the U.S. bombing campaign had failed to destroy key targets of Tehran nuclear program. Now, in my video, where is it? That I didn't publish, my baboon, I said here, U.S. to strike again, and I made the same case. These guys are going to tell him, you didn't do a good job, you need to do it again, by damaging his ego. So the outlet reported, failed. The U.S. President Donald Trump has lashed out at CNN and New York Times for reporting that Washington's recent airstrikes on Iran caused only limited damage. And I'm quoting. Fake news CNN, together with the failing New York Times, have teamed up in an attempt to demean one of the most successful military strikes in history. What I tell you? Trump wrote on Truth Social, the nuclear sites in Iran are completely destroyed. You got it? So now these guys are going to continue to hit him in his ego. And I think Trump's big ego will cave in. I don't know. He's going to do something else. Israel will going to say, no, actually, you have to destroy that particular site. And he's going to do it. The media here, those boys will say, no, you didn't do a good job. You're weak. Even so, that showed again, in that video, and not only that video, I explained this attack on Iran with all those 9 destroyers in the Mediterranean, American destroying vessels, military vessels, plus 2 Nimitz and another one aircraft carrier, will show our limitation. They will not be able to destroy Iran, and the whole world is watching. They will look and say, the American might showed its limits. I made this claim on numerous occasions. The fact that the Americans only attacked little countries together with a coalition already showed weakness. The US attacked only with a coalition. to show legitimacy and also probably military weakness. I said it. Otherwise, we'll be alone slapping. I mean, you need to bring your brother and your cousin and your father and your whomever to beat one little neighbor over there. 1 meter 50 centimeter high, tall. What, 5'5"? Is that what you need? 5 guys, Germany, Great Britain, everybody, to beat one guy, Iraq, 24 million people, or Libya, 4 million people, or Syria, or Afghanistan, or Yugoslavia. You need this coalition. Why? Because you're weak or not as strong as you claim you are. So the same right here. That's show the limitation. You didn't even do a good job. You didn't even blow up those nuclear sites. Clear and nice. That's a fact right now, almost a fact. It's this close to be a fact. Right now, just initial reports. Why? To make Trump go back and finish the job. And we have this one, again, from Sputnik. Trump lashes out on CNN, New York Times, for reports on results of U.S. strikes. What's going to happen? Well, maybe Trump will not do it, even if his ego is as it is. Why? In his mind, I think he really thinks he really thinks that he is what he is. Don't get me wrong, Trump is a fantastically successful guy. I mean, however you look at him, and he got a nest on his head, but and so on. But and says all kind of things, some good, some bad, like we all do. But he's more successful, I say, than me or you. I don't know, unless you are worth more than $12 billion and you've been the president of the United States of America twice, then I think he's more successful than you. You can say, well, that's not necessarily the measure of success. In a society, it is. The position, and the money. What else it is? And the respect. How many people know about me or you versus him? It's true that you could be notorious about certain things, but still, Trump, I want to say, is a successful, very successful guy. I mean, his family could forever, like Romans, inscript his name wherever they want. Which he's a billionaire, twice U.S. president. You can call him whatever you want, this, that. It's true. But as I said, you look at people overall, good and bad, and achievements and failures, and then you make an assessment. So I think he's very much satisfied with something here, some curly or something. He's very satisfied with what he achieved, and he achieved. That's a fact. Will he do it? I don't think he'll do it. I think he's already satisfied. He's going to move on. He wants that Nobel Peace Prize. He's a very driven guy. He's going to probably make peace with Putin in Ukraine. In Iran, he's going to dodge it for whatever, if he's going to go again for re-elections. We'll see. We'll see how he solved the China. We'll see. Or North Korea. I suspect he's going to be in a good, friendly relationship with both of those guys. I think Trump realized his limitation, U.S. limitation. He's going to play like he's right here, but he knows where he really is. He's going to play that one. It depends on the other persons if they catch the bluff, and they have the courage to call a bluff, like the Chinese did with the tariffs, like the Russians did in Ukraine, Jesus Christ, like the Iranians did here. They say, okay, attack us. We're not afraid of you. What are you going to do? We're strong enough. We're going to bring this. We're going to obliterate you. Obliterate shit. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. I think Trump is going to pursue a friendly relationship with all these countries against the big interests behind him. They try to harness him and release him into a war with these guys. Why? They make profits. It's about profits and power. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.